There was once a boy named Max. Max lived a mildly lavish life. Max lived in a suburban home with his happy family of 5 and his 2 energetic dogs. He loved to ride his BMX bikes at the skate park, visit the crazy city of San Francisco, eat curry up, and listen to Kid Cudi. He had good friends from school to the skate park to his temple. Life was simple for Max. Life was where it should be. Life was enough. But deep underneath the surface, Max had a bubbling pain, building up each day and night, preparing to burst. As each day went by and Max grew older and opened his eyes to more of the world, he unraveled the darkness in his heart. Suddenly, BMX wasn't enough. Friends weren't enough. His dogs, his family, his favorite artists weren't enough. He was unhappy. He was discontent. He was uncomfortable. But he was more than that. He was done living his life. So he ended it. On January 10th, 2015, Max ran in front of a train, and suicide was no longer a thought or an attempt. It was a success and the end of his short-lived life. I wish it didn't, but it took me the death of a childhood friend to become aware and in tune with the issue of mental health in this world. I met Max in preschool at my temple, and he was a lifelong friend since then. For the majority of our lives, we saw each other twice a week. My most memorable moment with him was when we went on a trip to LA for Temple, and we bonded over Mac Miller as we ran around Universal Studios. Regardless of how close I was with Max, his suicide struck me as a wake-up call. I wasn't aware enough of what was taking place, and like many others, I wasn't there for him like I should have been. Now that I have seen a life taken by depression and serious mental health issues, I will never look at it the same. For too many people, mental health is a faraway issue that is insignificant and confusing. Unfortunately, it is not relevant and prevalent enough. Mental health needs to be highlighted, discussed, understood, and dealt with so much better. I met Max's girlfriend Natalie the day of the funeral and had an immediate connection with her. The tragedy of his story brought me to listen to the tragedy of her story. She's been through the worst of the worst: depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, eating disorders, sexual assault, and now the loss of a partner. Since then, we have opened up to each other greatly, and I have learned so much not only about her and Max, but the holistic topic of mental health. Even the worst of circumstances brought me a best friend forever. Max and Natalie are just 2 of millions of people who have dealt with this kind of pain. Their stories represent a multitude of mental health stories that need to be recognized and heard. After this tragic experience, I will never lose touch with someone important in my life. I also encourage everyone to keep their eyes open to what's taking place and ensure that the well-being of themselves and the people that they care about is always a top priority. Especially in today's society and high school, with the stress of getting into college and having a bright future, on top of a multitude of personal problems, many teens find themselves in a dark hole of sadness they feel stuck in. What I know now is that suicide is a serious issue today in society, specifically in teens' lives. And with that, there are so many ways to seek help.